Scholars reflect beautifully on how the soul in the body of the human being is like an entity in a foreign home, with its actual home being elsewhere beyond this world. That the earthly body is just a temporary dwelling place in which it is ordered to dwell temporarily. Scholars reflect that it is contained within this body, but it longs for its actual home, which is in a higher place for the righteous soul. Hence, the soul departs to its real home after death. Thus, the soul experiences an inner vacuum in the body unless you satisfy it with dhikr, with the remembrance of Allah and the Quran. But as soon as we abandon this remembrance, the soul once again feels the vacuum, the unhappiness, the void of something necessary. In fact, people complain that regardless of having everything, there is still something missing, and they try to silence that feeling, that inner voice, with a variety of things, one after the other. Maybe food, new clothes, new furniture, shopping, events, holidays, get-togethers. But after some time, they get bored of this continuous indulgence in one thing after another and are never quite happy or satisfied, never quite 100%, that feeling of discomfort. Scholars reflect that it is the soul that also feels uncomfortable with its occupation in worldly pleasures and its disconnection from what it was created for. And so the more a person's indulgences increase in worldly things, the more discontent the soul feels. And really, this is because the soul, that inner entity, was never really made to dwell in this world as its natural habitat. Hence it yearns for that eternal home of the hereafter that it was made for. So scholars say that when the soul is not fed its food, when it's not given the chance to do what it was made for, and as it isn't in its real home and place and the station of its honor, then the soul longs for obedience, itaat to Allah, and it desires to do something good. But when a person turns away from this inner calling, the soul is constricted and discontent, depressed and sad. But the intoxication of man's desires conceals this inner voice from being heard. And when a person pursues his desires so much, it prevents him from pursuing the cause of this pain and masks the reality of why he's feeling like that. But then when he is cured from his intoxication, he regrets what happened, unknowingly or knowingly, regretting the loss of the honor granted by Allah. And hence, when a person continues to comfort the body and ignore the soul by silencing it temporarily, the guilt later sets in again, until one reconnects with Allah and repents and does tawbah. As the inner soul recognizes Allah, it wants to utilize its full capacity to strengthen itself with Allah's remembrance, and this strength enhances the insight of the person too, reducing his vulnerability to his own whims and desires. Remember, a believer lives in this world as if imprisoned away from the home of paradise and bliss, of the home he desires and loves the most, and strives through this world of hardship and temptations and difficulties to try to attain it. He's like a stranger in this world, never satisfied here, as his true comfort is connected with that other home in the next world, whilst his body still remains in this earthly one. And so he continues to miss home. Isn't it so that regardless of one's travels and vacations and hotels and sceneries and colorful itineraries, when one finally comes home, there is familiarity and a soothing comfort, as there is no place like home? So while the body feels happy in worldly pleasures because the needs of the body are material, the soul does not. It feels happy in heavenly matters, in higher objectives, and this is the reason why the believer is a stranger in this home. No matter where he settles or which destination he arrives at, he is in a foreign land until he completes his given term and heads back towards his homeland and final destination. Hence, the soul only dwells in the body temporarily because Allah has commanded it to do so. Thus, we believe in the soul's existence in the body, although we do not know how it exists, but that the soul is not situated in a particular part of the body like the heart or brain. Rather, there's no particular station for it in the body. Rather, scholars reflect that it is in the entire body and that life is conditional to the presence of it having a soul. So as long as the soul is in the body has life. And as soon as the soul departs from it, life departs from it also. Thus, our life exists till we have a soul.